Hello and welcome back to my channel. We're going to continue to talk about Einstein CoPilot. This is the second video in that series. In the last video, we talked pretty heavily about the trust layer because that seems to be one of the most important topics when it comes to Gen AI. And we looked at a demo. We looked at what the CoPilot looks like and how it uses a planner service within Salesforce to kind of get your users' requests and figure out what actions to pick from. We also looked at some standard actions, and we know that we can also create our own custom actions by using flows, Apex, and all the native technologies within Salesforce. So I was playing around more with the prompt builder. So what got me curious is the prompt builder. So my biggest confusion when I started learning about CoPilot is there's so many things, and I was trying to kind of connect the dots and how they all come together, right? So far, here's what I know. We've got this Einstein CoPilot. This will open in a builder, as we have already seen. So you can open this builder and ask a bunch of questions here, describe your task, and get answers. So it's pretty much like playing around with ChatGPT. You can ask questions and you can get answers. The answers will come by using different actions. And then when you ask a question, the planner service will already determine what actions to take, and then it will plan it and give you the answer. So this is a pretty straightforward CoPilot. Then it comes about, okay, what are the actions then? So let me go back to that menu where I was at. And then there's CoPilot actions. So when you go there, you'll see these standard actions. The standard actions are the one that we just looked at in the Einstein CoPilot. So we've got these questions, draft email, and all of these other standard actions. I'm assuming that Salesforce will continue to add more and more standard actions, but you can also create your own actions if you like. And there are different reference types here. You can do an Apex action, you can do a flow, or a prompt template. And prompt template is interesting to me because this is what is using the prompts that we're going to use in prompt builder. So if you choose a prompt template, all of these are prompts within my org. If you choose the flow, you need to have a reference action for flow, and we will dig more into CoPilot action in a later video. But for now, so let's go to prompt builder. What does that mean? Prompt builder is where you really will start to build prompts to do different things. Out of the box, at least in my org, I only had all of these prompts, all the sales email prompts, which is all cool. It's very like email focused, introduce yourself, a bunch of things that I didn't find very interesting, at least for right now. What I'm more interested is in the record summary. So let's see. I'm going to try to create a simple one first, and then we'll take it from there. So if you do a new prompt template here, even in prompt template, there are different types. So for now, I'm going to stick with the field generation type for opportunities. It's important to keep your template name to mean exactly what you're trying to do. And I'm going to use my account object here, and you'll see where this is important. So it's important to already have in mind what you're trying to do. Here, my main motive here is to have some sort of summary about all the opportunities present within an account. And then I want that summary to be kind of mapped to a text field in account. So you can obviously use the text field that you already have, or create a specific text field for this purposes. I'm just going to use account description because I already have that field. I don't want to use a different field for that. So basically what I am hoping it does, once I enable the prompt, it goes into my account and updates the account description based on the opportunity data. That's exactly what I'm trying to do here. This is your prompt template workspace. You can do a lot in here, and it might get overwhelming when you're starting out and like, what should I type? And the quality of your data, the quality of the result will depend on how good your prompt is. If you just literally say, generate, let's just create account summary. That's very generic, and that doesn't really mean much. And it's like, okay, how is the LLM going to know what to generate, right? So you have to say, for at least, this is a very basic prompt. And right here, this resource bar is super helpful. So this will allow you to say for which account I'm generating a summary, right? I'm gonna just put name here. This is still a very basic prompt, but let's just see what it generates. I'm gonna hit save. And let's choose an account. Let's use our favorite Acme partners. And actually, it didn't even like it. So here you can see I'm getting a resolution, which means create account summary for, these are called like merge fields, Acme partners, because I use the account name. And it's saying, hey, thank you for your request. An account summary is not available at the moment. If you require specific account details, please provide the necessary information. Prompt engineering, if it's very new to you, think of it like talking to someone and giving them all the details that they need to know. If you were to tell an individual like, hey, can you create an account summary for this account? Obviously, that person would hopefully ask you, okay, what summary do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to look at their revenue and address and demographics and create a summary? Or like, there's too many questions. This is a very generic statement and not enough context for the prompt to create anything from that. So there are some examples out there, and I recommend this help article as well. This is obviously too detailed. So if you want to see how it kind of form up as you go along, I'm just going to copy paste this for now. And then we're going to tweak it from there and make it our own. So let's just copy paste that. Just going to remove all of this stuff for now. You don't have to use those quotes. You can also use asterisks. I highly also recommend taking a course on prompt engineering if you like, if you are really interested in knowing more about what's prompt engineering. Okay, so let's just say you are a sales rep and you need to create a source summary for, let's make it all opportunities for this account. So you can choose account name or account ID. And when I ask you to summarize opportunities, you must strictly follow my instructions. So right there, you are setting the kind of background for it. Hey, you must follow my instructions. And then usually it starts with instructions colon, and then this is where your meat and potatoes come in. This is where you add all the details that it needs. And if you have more information, then you can add that. We're going to look into that in a second. But for now, I'm just going to say, use the following information to write the summary. And I'm going to say, use account industry. Summarize the open case in one paragraph. Summarize the accounts in one paragraph, no longer than 500 characters. And yeah, let's just remove all that for now. And use straightforward language. Okay, so this looks a little bit better, and we still don't have opportunities information. So that's a little bit advanced. We can use flow in here to embed opportunities information. We're going to look into that as well. But for now, I'm just going to keep it simple and save and preview. Okay, so you're a sales rep and you need to create a source summary. So why is this important? Why is this you are a sales rep important? There is something called persona-based prompt pattern. It will have different outputs based on the persona that you give it. If you say you are an attorney, then the language it uses will be slightly different than when you say you are a sales rep. So that's why we are defining the context. You can also say you're a sales rep who works at XYZ company for 5 years or whatever years. So you're just adding more persona to the prompt. And then this is where you are defining the ground rules. When I ask you to do this, you must strictly follow these instructions. And then you're saying, okay, I just want you to give me answer in no less than 500 characters, no longer than 500 characters, and use straightforward language, use active voice, and avoid using filler words. And then you're saying, use this information. You see how this is much more granular than what we previously said, just create account summary. If you're going to give a generic prompt, you are going to get a very generic response. And as you can see, now our response is much better. It's saying the account is in the technology industry with an annual revenue of 5 million, because I strictly told it to use only industry and revenue. Great. So now we got 2 sentences and it is still following, it's being straightforward basically. Okay, now that we have this prompt, how do we actually get it appear on the Salesforce screen? So I'm going to first activate this prompt, and then we're going to go to our account page. I'm on my account page. One thing to note is this will only work if you have a dynamic page. So you must have a dynamic page enabled. And once you have a dynamic page, you're going to find the field where you said, remember when we're creating the prompt, we said we wanted the account description field to have that prompt. And then when you go to that field, you will see a new thing appear called Einstein Generative AI Prompt Template. This is where you can select from a bunch of templates. I was playing around. I have a bunch of templates here. The one that we just created was this one, I believe, draft account summary for opportunities. I'm going to select that and hit save. As simple as that. I didn't have to do anything. As long as you have the prompts, you'll get that here. And then let's check it out and see this in action. Okay, so I have a bunch of thing from before as the description. So you can also see there's like a star here appeared. So I'm going to click on that. And it should start generating something here. Great. So it's saying account ID with operates in the same thing that I was expecting, and it's the same address. And then you can choose to say use, and it will replace that information with that. You can also just remove it if you like. And this is where the human element come in, right? So I can just remove all of that. I don't like that, so I can remove it and add this here. So as a human, I can say what I like and what I want to save here, and then I have the power to save that. Just open up another account. In this case, I have some description written, and I'm gonna start the prompt generation. And hopefully this has a different result. The account is in the technology industry with an annual revenue 1.5 million. I guess it rounded it up. It is a corporate account located in 123 Main Street. This is where it's wrong, actually. It shouldn't be 123 Main Street. So let's see. Let's try out something here. Correct address. And then I want to try another thing too, because we didn't use the merge fields. Okay. So since that did not work quite well as I was expecting, let's do something else here. So because we typed the address here, what if instead of doing that, I want to use the actual account dot billing address. Oh, I guess I'd have to use all of these things separately. Address is not available. Okay, so I'm going to use that country, and instead of just type, and this is the point of what I was talking about, data grounding. This is allowing me to do that. So let's just say type, account type. Okay, so, and just like flows, you can have multiple versions of the same prompt, which is nice because the whole point of this exercise is to play around with which prompt gives you the best answer, and then you can always switch back. So that's good. I'm going to now activate this prompt and save. So the moment you activate it, I'm assuming this just applies to that object directly. So I'm going to go back to that account, refresh my screen, and let's see how this works this time. Okay, so mid-market, and that's good. It actually gave me the right value. So as you saw that when I was using just the generic industry revenue, it didn't really understand it, and it was just using the one example that I played with. So the value of having these merge fields is super important. That's how you're going to be able to get right information. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now that we have used everything that was in the account object and trying to create response for that account, what if I wanted to also include the related objects? So what I'm thinking of is like, it would be cool if there was a prompt that could just allow me to just summarize all the opportunities, open cases, everything in one thing and just pop it in the description. That would be pretty sweet. So that's what I want to do next.